CT, right? Even the NA teams haven't played Brimstone with this patch change. So the fact that we're seeing not only both teams running the Brimstone, but one of them running the Omen alongside, no doubt for that flash. Look at where Link is on the screen. He's in sewers, ready to paranoia across. G2 going to expect this fast hit coming in from TL.
I'm very excited to see how this one's going to pan out. Soulcast quick to the trigger, getting stimmed up. That 15% speed increase as pointed out to us by Pips, and just ahead of this one. Avova coming in with the first kill of play though. It's Navarra, the first player that will go down in this series, and Avova will double up and take his brother. He's taking all of them down. And now we're going to look to Link and Soulcast to see what they can do here. Back into play. It's actually Yampy who has found that pickup on the hoodie. So kill at least drawn back here for Team Liquid, but they haven't got any closer to that A site.
The reason why G2, like, they're looking behind him on B because they have got that trademark up on ramp. It's now been destroyed. And that saved wall in mid means that it's just Meadow sort of looking around, playing the breach, but playing it very much like a sentinel, right? Playing on his own, trying to anchor over onto B. But there's a lot to do. Watching two different angles, and that's where the reset's going from Liquid. G2 just holding on those spots, making sure the TL haven't scaled up. They know that they've not got a bit further because of a trademark that's in towers. Meadow's about to find them all, maybe.
One for Meadow.
30 seconds left.
And now he looks back to B main, which would be the right call, as Link is currently there with the Omen. There's Yampy who tries to crit the opening from Heaven. Smoke goes up, allows Yampy to have some cover. He walks into it, and Meadow will remove him.
Spike down.
And in doing so, drops the spike, and an impossible round to recover there for Team Liquid. And G2, they find the first off the back of Avova with a massive pistol performance.
You see where the rendezvous was as well. I think Mixwell's going to put it in the same spot. Look at the minimap. Look how quickly Mixwell can get into this position.
Player standing.
Yeah.
Spike down.
And he's by the spike.
Yeah, that's such a good move. It's such a good setup there. Mixwell on the chamber was, we got to see G2 a few weeks back, Ryan. We got to cast them. They were probably one of the most fun teams to cast. Just with Mixwell playing the chamber and that combo with Nukia on the Raze. That was a deadly combo for G2. Very exciting to watch.
Love these teams want to stake their claim on the meta, right? Find what suits them. G2, they've been maneuvering around with this composition with the chamber for quite some time, but they did have Meadow over on the Cypher, I think. Now he's on the breach. And then Avova away from the Astra, the Omen, now over on Brimstone. You never know with Scream. He has his moments where he can find that headshot. Right now, it just seems that TL Liquid are just going to farm up some of these orbs, get them going. Yampy, those Rolling Thunders are going to be so impactful. And G2, happy to play this slowly.
Yeah, and I guess
this is so much fun, man. Like, just EMEA on this new patch, like, the ideas that are coming out, like I said, like, neither of these compositions have been used by, like, let's say, Xset or Sentinels or anybody like that. These are completely fresh from the minds of Sliggy and Pips.
Yeah, and this is the exciting thing when you get to see G2 versus Team Liquid, right? And in particular, Team Liquid, they love to innovate. They love to try and push the envelope to see what they can get away with. Navarra certainly getting away with a double on the Sheriff, but Meadow has come in and swept him up. Yampy has made his way through to the B site. Problem is, the spike is up in Heaven yet again, so we'd have to go around. 25 seconds left, 3 players lie in front of him. We talk about Yampy's individual skill, certainly has bucket loads of it. But in this situation, needs a better gun. Now he's got that. He can split them up for 12 seconds left. The double blast pack, are you kidding me? Okay. Nukia just does everything possible. He really pushes the envelope of what you can do with the blast packs.
And just knowing the Meadow was low health, but speaking of which, he's 6-0. One of the common complaints that, I felt I had against him was he was very set in his ways of playing Cypher. Even when players were moving over to Killjoy, he'd still move on the Cypher. Not only is he able to play both now to a good level, he's playing the Viper when needed, and now picking up the Breach and looking really solid on it with the set plays. It's the same role. He's still playing on B. He's often going to be isolated, but he's there just to stall out, to get information, to shut down any fast-paced play from Liquid. With his composition, Liquid will want to play relatively fast.
Well, good kill from Nukia. That's Link, the first victim. And so G2 into a good position here. Team Liquid, where's the acceleration of the play? Yampy walled up and sprints into the site. Now diving down around the backside of Meadow, who didn't see him, and that allows Yampy to go for 3. Meadow, Mixwell, and Nukia all go down to the young Finn, who is charging up for more. 4
Ooh.
kills from Yampi and just 1 left of Ova. Can he do one better? Can he get his team over the line here? Of Ova has already found a couple and drawn this into a 1v2. Spike down, wrap around the back from the Vero coming in. He can't get through that wall, so this is buying a little bit of time for Avova.
He doesn't want to give it away either.
Eventually that wall will break down, but Avova has a window of opportunity to move on to the spike. He's now sticking it. He's got it over half already. He's sticking it all the way through. I don't know how he's done this, but okay, Avova. Daylight robbery. He gets the defuse, and G2 have 3-0.
Oh, look at him run away as well. Like, I got it. This guy has been pulling off ninja defuses over the last 2 series, and he's just added another one to that tally. Liquid, they outbrained themselves a little bit. They're in a position where they don't want to give up that player up on the high ground because of the Sage wall. Even Scream is playing relatively close, but they try and play for the post-plant utility. And this is off the back of Yampi almost getting an ace. The one player he doesn't kill then goes on to ninja defuse. How is he going to be feeling?
Oh my, that is going to be a real backbreaker for Team Liquid.
So this is cool. Because you have these double controllers, you can sort of smoke off the same way as you would a Viper with a toxic screen going up to A ramp. G2 have no information who's pushed up. They do have those trademarks there to stop anybody, or at least having that information if they do get by. But Nevera is playing as like a lurker, like a sentinel, all on his own. Such a unique way to see Brimstone being, well, he does get done by Nukier, but it's still interesting to see that it's the Brimstone going off on his own trying to lurk.
Yeah, Team Liquid gathering the troops outside of A. Nukia and Mixwell set up together. Yampi. Brilliant headshot. Mixwell removed straight away. Another kill this time from Nukia as he swings out. Pinshall's going in to separate the pack. And, well, he's severing them off, certainly, but Scream able to get a headshot. Of course he does. Hoodie gets close. Judges go with the mow down Soulcast, which thrusts Scream alone into the clutch. And certainly we know him for his one-taps. But here goes the Guardian. The best weapon for it. The best style points you can get out of this gun. But with 13 seconds left, Spike on his back, he can make his way into the site. But the problem is he gets peeked from heaven. He is likely to go down, so he decides to go around the cover. He's going to try and plant, but he's got him off at the fault line. And Avova finds the headshot. 4-0 for G2.
So far, G2 are looking very high in their protocols. This is what you want to see when a coach like Pipson comes into the squad. But even the way that they approach that, not giving Scream any room to work with, just playing off of the spike being planted, the stuns, the aftershocks. Only a couple of kills coming in. Mixwell 0 and 3. It doesn't matter. Like, his utility's doing its job. And Liquid, they've been very much in the deep end when it comes to some of their ideas. This is just another one that's come from their book. But you got to feel, if this doesn't work, are they out of sorts?
Yeah, feels like it's been a pretty slow start from Team Liquid, and maybe we start to see this double controller setup not work so well on this attacking side. But if it can slither together a few rounds on the attacking side itself,
yeah, could be the meta, could be the future.
we'll have to see. We don't understand it apparently, Ryan. It's the mosaic.
It's just double controller as a comp just doesn't really get played all that much ever, really. Not in this fashion. Sure, you've got the Viper, but now a BXQ coming in. Avova's the one that's going to try and hold off. The smoke comes through. He tries to back away. Hoodie in the smoke, finding those fights, but Scream finds them both.
Yeah, great job from Scream. Avova and Hoodie both down very quickly. And that is different for Team Liquid. A good start into the round, and that thrusts G2 into 3 versus 5. And they have to figure out how to get into this one. The wrap around the backside could potentially be it. Nevera is holding for it. They've got Meadow coming in for the defender spawn, but given that Team Liquid have so many forces here and the time is starting to take it, seems more like a containment strategy really for G2. They're trying to do some damage here to Team Liquid's economy because obviously they haven't won a lot of rounds, they haven't built up that economy, so if you can force a few rebuys on the way out, that can play a big problem for Team Liquid moving into the next.
Liquid know it, that's why they put down the stim beacon ready to take these fights.
Oh, certainly working out for Mixwell. He's found 3. Goes back for 4 with a headhunter, this time not finding its head. But that is significant damage on the way out. 3 kills, a lot of damage there. Really solid stuff.
Absolutely. So much success, I think, comes in from Liquid getting those spikes planted. And pretty good on the post plants as well, only losing a couple of times. I think twice on the B site since Champions. And they've lost split in those kind of series, right? So if Liquid can get that spike actually down over on that site, well, I mean, it's
right there.
Gone up a little bit, but that's only because of Vova managed to sneak through past a few of them. Really goes to show how one-off it's felt so far for Liquid.
They are so dead.
On the Vera.
That's an opening you want.
Yeah, a great start to the round. Team Liquid really struggling to get on the board with these openings, but now they have. And 2 rounds. I'll see if they can close it as they go back in towards A. Currently, look at the setup here. No one's here for the defense. So
it's just this utility as well. Like,
a lot of smokes.
The trademarks do so much work. Yeah. They still haven't made their way up onto tower, so this is still control that Mixwell has. He has the ultimate out as well, the tour de force. Could be a bit of a shooting range from this high up.
yeah.
You know what they say about the high ground?
Problem is, no one's walking into it, Ryan. That's the one thing they need, try and force them into the fights, but no one's giving it a chance away here. Team Liquid look to hold it down. Paranoia being sent out.
Ooh, that's a nice set play.
Last player
Paranoia and a
standing.
stun coming in to anybody that comes through screens. And yeah, like you said, Mixwell had good positioning to try and make stuff happen, but credit to Liquid for playing around and not really showing up. And then once they're ready, went to make sure that Mixwell goes down just in case he has an operator, for example. It was just that ultimate, so not going to come into round number 7.
To wait and see a few months down the line, or G2 and Team Liquid, they want to be down in Iceland. We'll see if they can.
Who have you got qualifying? I mean, you've got...
I've got Fnatic winning
You
it.
got some brand new faces, right? You've got like the guard that could get there and stuff.
Oh, from NA?
They look really
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Sentinels, I think they're a good team, right? They, yeah.
Oh, you were saying about 2020 vision. I think it's...
That's probably the last time we'll see it.
Oh no.
Well, nice that happens to me every time I play Omen. That's the Omen experience right there, Link. Thank you for showing everybody that. Decides to, from the shadows right into a Vova. Easy kill for him, and an opening for G2.
Looking for some utility as well, just seeing what they can find. Mixwell again on tower, finds that boosted player up on Scream, just on the high ground. I mean, I'm not going to ever say that Scream is boosted. You get the point. But this is the interesting part. Spike goes in. Bear in mind what I said about Liquid. They're very good in these situations. And Soulcast
Last
could find
player
more.
standing.
Ooh, never mind. Soulcast does go down, and good recovery again. G2, 2 up, staying alive, retake this time around. Couldn't retake multiple times, but this time they get it done. 5 and 2. Get Vova back up to his feet with that res as well. Good start here from G2, but how many rounds are we looking at here, Ryan, for Team Liquid to feel comfortable out of the attacking half?
I'd say I'm very curious on what it can do on the defense, and knowing how good Liquid's defense can be on this map, I think you could get away with 4.
Okay.
Even, you know, the
4
other
and a
9
pistol.
free curse, so even just 1 more. Yeah, I think the pistol's definitely going to be an important one.
Okay, cool. So,
But it's...
we're looking for 2 more here
Yeah.
for Liquid in this half. But
I think so.
Wow.
And I think that's doable. Look at the ultimates they have this round in particular.
It should be 3, or a great opportunity for 3 rather, but you have to also look at G2's ultimates available. They have also got the Rolling Thunder and the Showstopper, and they've got some mid-aggression. It hasn't worked out though. Soulcast has opened up the first. Hoodie's head no longer attached to his body. And so now Team Liquid have got to slow things down. They can deal with this advantage and see where they want to go with it. But problem is, Lucas got a Showstopper. He's decided to pop it, and there's no way Scream's expecting that.
Spike down mid.
Oh, they're expecting him to be further away because of that blast pack. Like, he just opted out, but he was still pretty close. Rolling Thunder for Meadow. He has nobody there to help him, but he catches Soulcast as he blast packs through. That's the worst timing in the world for Soulcast. That's incredibly unlucky. And now with his ultimates expended for Liquid, how are they going to find success here?
Great job done, and now, well, G2 have been able to recover this. And Mixwell's looking to wrap around the site, has split them up into 1v1s.
Spike
Only
down,
claims the life
B.
of 1 player, but slows the spike down and spots it in the site. Yampy decides not to immediately go and retrieve that spike, instead waits for his teammate Link to come on over. He's used up a smoke. Yampy now clearing around
30
every
seconds left.
piece of the site to allow the safe passage of Link over. He can have the confidence to cross into the site. Fault line's gonna go
Meadows
in. Link is going to plant, and Aftershock's popping after him, but Link has got out of dodge. Will they check Yampy down below?
The Meadow has everything. Now he's used... He only has one flash left. Yampy on this corner. Haphazardly checked. Yampy has the stun.
He always stuns. He could have kept his gun out. But the stun, it's not going to stop Avova from winning the round. Oh, Yampy was so close. If he keeps his rifle out, very likely he finds the second there, but opts for the stun. That ends up costing him the round. Avova thought he was going to be in a rough spot, but still recovered it. And that is another round for G2 that Team Liquid looked so good in the start of. Just couldn't close it out.
The one controller of Avova has more kills than the two controllers of Liquid.
That's a fun stat.
And Yampy, you gotta feel hard done by here. Like, he's finding so much when it comes to openings, and it's the second time that we've seen a player stun still getting a headshot and finding the kill despite them being debuffed. Still, that kind of impact is coming in for G2, and Liquid now, they still have a buy. Free ultimate still available. And G2 remember that they used a Rolling Thunder, used a Showstopper and the Resurrect 2 rounds ago. Still costly for G2 in their economy, but making sure that they got 6, at least at half, is something they're going to be happy about.
Now slowing this down, Team Liquid begin to drop back away from B for the time being. Looks like we're going to go further back, but instead are now re-entering. Got the fault line at the ready. Could be a pop out here with some flashes in the back of Yampy. Here comes the Showstopper being sent forward from Soulcast. Close to hitting the mark, but not
So
quite.
low.
And now Meadow gets closer to the half point. Yes, so low indeed.
1 HP.
Oh, 1 HP. The paint shells catch him out. Nukia was barely walking, and no longer will he walk the server. He's down in Meadow. He spots the barrel. He knows exactly where Soulcast is playing from, but Soulcast still able to swing out for the headshot. Now 2 players up for Team Liquid. Spike finally going down. Scream hits the deck, so finally the player removed for Team Liquid and slipping down below. Okay, somehow, someway, Soulcast gets removed. Mixwell covers off his teammate, and now the numbers once again evened out. 3v3 in the player count. Fault line goes across the site. Navira and Yampy peek together, and now thrust Hoodie into the clutch alone. He's claimed ahead of Navira, but not ready for Yampy's swing out. It is a recovery from Team Liquid, a much needed third round. A good team play to get it over the line.
Yeah, excellent team play. Just these straight out executes from Liquid are looking really good. The slow pace, just keeping G2 sort of guessing where they're going to be playing from. Forcing out ultimates again from Avova, for example. Now, because these rounds have been relatively close, G2, despite winning a couple on the go, now don't really have the money for it. So Liquid can now find maybe the rest of these rounds in this first half. But it's still curious because this is so new. Like, every single default is something very unique in their approach, especially with the 2 smokes.
Okay, Meadow. Not a bad start to the round. You'll be happy with that. Forces the rise out of Team Liquid immediately. They're sending the Aftershock in to try and connect onto Link. He's dancing with a bit of danger now as Meadow begins to push towards B, but so many players on the left side of this. This double push is not going to work out. Scream takes 2. Mixwell so quick in the tour de force. Takes down 2, makes it look like a shotgun, and has got his team right back into this again.
Nade.
Well, the Aftershock is forcing him back. He wants to take a wide fight and look down into B main, and close. Close to finding a third, but that shot will not land.
You're going to re-peek him again.
Oh, Mixwell.
He only has that 1 bullet.
1 bullet left, and nearly the lineup. I had a vision, Ryan. It felt like it was going to happen, but Avova into the clutch again. He has been incredible. He's up against Yampy and Link. He's already won a clutch versus these 2 players on this B site before, but this time around, he's onto the Sheriff versus the 2 rifles. So, still looking better here for Link and Yampy.
Shrouded Step has made Avova very paranoid. He could be up on the high ground, he could move through, and whilst he's clearing all of these angles, Yampy just takes the peak. He's been so much better today, Yampy. You sort of expect with how some of these rounds have been going at Liquid, should be above and beyond, but even that, an eco round for G2, as great as it was for Mixwell, he should have been able to get away with this much, and he could have got away with the whole lot of them.
Yeah, close calls a couple of times there in those shots as well. Could have made the difference in the round. If there's the 4 though you're wanting from Team Liquid, they've picked them up.
He now has that operator, so he can still find that success playing
there.
in mid. We've seen already that G2 has been very aggressive, taking his space, walling off sewers. Nothing quite to that level yet. But a teleport instantly from Mixwell. He was expecting maybe a fast hit or wanted to rotate, swap places with Avova. It is just a Sage over in this spot. Hoodie has a lot to do. If he goes down, that's a lot of space given up.
No, he's done well with that first kill of play. Swing out into Yampy is not going to work out. Yampy very quick to the trigger. Equalizes the player count. Cuts the numbers down off the defense. But Hoodie...
Still fighting for
he
it.
is certainly fighting for this one, Ryan.
Oh no.
Yeah, problem is Soulcast is still there, so not expecting the player from Sewer. Had one sight in mind, and that was to flank around B. But Soulcast
is a good
in that awkward position, catches him. There goes the Rolling Thunder into the B site just to clear it out. Gap here for Meta to try and catch them as they cross, and close to it, but Yampy hits the headshot. Link follows up upon it, and now just Avova. How many times do you see him in this situation?
Spike planted.
Taken down.
Right now, still plenty to play for. Scream holding the off angle is going to win out that duel. And it goes to show the Liquid, they're so quick to fight and aggress
Last round before the switch.
Over, as a player that's playing on a different site, can't really find much success. And because Avova's playing up on the other side, it means that there's no smokes or really that much stall to stop Team Liquid from coming in. So maybe there's that initial pressing to see, all right, because they're playing Brimstone, his range on his smokes is pretty limited. He's over on A, let's go B. He can't smoke that B main choke with a lot of freedom. And whilst G2 were playing off the site, expecting something like a Rolling Thunder execute, which came in, Team Liquid are still able to just make it work. They have plenty of utility to dedicate to those executes. They have it in abundance.
Oh, charging right into Meadow. It's a good kill. That Soulcast stopped in the space. Well, limited now for Team Liquid. Link has actually got by, so that is a threat they have to somewhat worry about. Link giving away his position, trying to draw attention to allow his teammates to cross and over. Rolling Thunder being deployed, trying to sever the forces. Hoodie, oh, he's run out of ammo, but Scream did not turn, and so it is a massacre at the back of the site. It is now just Yampy left. A 1v5 for the rifle, and he's caught. A headshot from Mixwell and a flawless round from G2.
Marvelous setup.
Switching
If we get a replay, definitely check the utility that was on the floor for G2 over on that B site. They moved a lot of that chamber util, the trademarks over in those spots. One of which to see if anybody goes past New Box, but also one that was right in on the site. The Rolling Thunder was saved up. They kind of know that Liquid are going to go for these Sage Wall executes, so they set up utility to make sure they don't push past it. And then as soon as that wall's ready to break, they come in with the Rolling Thunder. Like G2, these adaptations, this could be a real fun series because both these teams, so many unique ideas that they then have to try and think and adapt to on the fly. There's no way that G2 were expecting Team Liquid to run double controller, and maybe Team Liquid were expecting G2 to run something similar to this. And now they, I think, need to pick up this pistol, otherwise G2 can easily get to 9-5.
Oh, Soulcast sends the paint shells out in towards main and bounces towards the back of the site. It's good. Find the head of Hoodie, cracks him right open. Now G2 continue to try to move forward into the site. It's Link that's coming with the kill. It extends upon this for Team Liquid, and they need this pistol, and they have got it. So great round from Liquid to pick up. They even stop G2 from getting to the site. Ends up being rather quick and clean for Team Liquid.
So the interesting thing about Liquid's defense is since Champions, I think they've lost like 18 rounds on the defense. Every single one of those rounds, the spike was planted. But every situation that Liquid have lost in since Champions, a spike has been down on the attacking side. They're so good at stopping these punts from coming in. Their retakes aren't too bad. They still win some of them, but the majority of rounds that they lose, it's as soon as G2 will get that spike on the ground. So Team Liquid, with this composition, playing very anti-plant. They don't want to give these sites up to G2. They want to stop them right in their tracks.
Well, breaking the wall immediately on G2. Crack a hole in it.
Out of charges. There.
And they know that G2 are present in middle with significant numbers. Can they deal with him? Mixwell goes through. Drops back in behind it. On the left side here, his opponent's currently light.
I do like this. Just using a Sage roll to create more little crossfires and angles that G2 have to clear. Now that it's gone, I need to back off a little.
Yeah, Scream is going to be the first player contest, and Mixwell just cleaves his head right off. Yampy, frustrated with that, decides to pull it back and goes aggressive. He's a one-man army with his flash being set up as well. Yampy with 3. Soulcast helps him out, and they crush the pistols. I think a lot of worrying there for a moment, maybe, with Mixwell's headshot, but good recovery mission from Yampy.
Also, what is it now? 5 out of the 6 times we've seen teams play so far in this patch, there's been a Sage in play. And the Breach, especially, is going to find a lot more use, a lot of NA play with Haven, for example. We've got Haven later on in the map pool. I'd imagine we'd see Breach there. Meadow right now, 12-9. Whole different role for him. Both the Breaches find a lot of success, but it's more impressive that Meadow, who's I don't think ever played it before.
Yeah, I mean,
in an official, finding success. But Yampy, I think this is an important tournament for him to find form in.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Yampy's a player with an extremely high skill ceiling. And it would be good to find him in a position of comfort and consistency within this Team Liquid side. If he finds that, then this Team Liquid team then move to the next level, I think. You look at this team, you can see the heights they hit sometimes, Ryan, but you also know their lows can be pretty low, right? So you want to see this Team Liquid side break into the next level, but also find this consistency there and hang around at that point, because you know this Team Liquid side have a lot of skill. Here come G2. Trying to come over Heaven. Soulcast in behind the wall right now, can't do too much about this, so this is going to be a passage down into the site. That means more pressure for Link, and unfortunately Link cracks under the pressure. Soulcast has got himself up on top of the wall and actually gives himself a very good position. Luckily Hoodie, quick to reply, through the smoke hits the headshot, and now Navira trying to swing, but Hoodie wise to his tricks. It's now just Yampy in the 1v3, the player you asked to see a lot of, and you know he has been performing well, but now he has to clutch a 1v3.
30 seconds left.
Spike's not down, Ryan.
No, this could be the first one in a while.
Yeah, come.
Maybe it's just because they wait for these situations. There's still all to play for.
17 seconds. Now they know where Yampy is. He has got a fault line online in 1 more second. Plant will not be denied, but throw that off to the left side. Not really going to do too much in that position. Gets held back by the other side. And now Yampy decides to move through, but spots 2 players deep in that corner. He's paranoid about that left-sided peek, but it's not going to happen. Meadow cracks his head off, and that's G2 with the first round of the second.
Plenty of interesting stuff for the most part. And just the util plays, I suppose, like the paranoia that was used on towards B Heaven from Link. I don't know how I rate this double controller so far. I guess it is handy to just have them both anchor in different directions. Link is the typical player that will play in that B anchor position. It's not uncommon to see the Yeoman at all, right? You think of what Ascend were doing over before this patch came in. Set up on one way, you've got the Brimstone smoking on the other side. Allows nice extremity control, and when you have the Sage roll in mid, it means that G2 can't go anywhere quickly. G2 have been really unable to actually scale up on the A position too, right? Like on ramp, you got 2 players watching it, you need those smokes to get in, but because the Brimstone, 8 of others only got 1 left.
Well, close as Scream, it's 1. And only 1 for Scream. Luckily, Soulcast able to back him up and plug the hole with the follow-up of Avova. 50 seconds left, Spike begins to leave and go back into the sewers. Waiting alongside of him is Mixwell. And this A site is quite a recessive setup right now from Team Liquid. They have still got 1 inside of the site somewhat, in the form of Yampy. He's actually gathering some info as he now takes a wider stance on his defense. He's about to spot a couple of players. In fact, he won't, because he's actually taking up this close position at
30
Cubby.
seconds
So
left.
about to start walking their way closer towards Yampy. His teammate can spot them from defender spawn. He's actually going to let one cross on by. Nearly gets the chance to follow up, but that is only going to set up Navera for the swing out from defender spawn. There's now just 1 player left, and it's Meadow. into the 1 versus 3. He goes to the plant straight away. He's got a couple of flashes here, a fault line online as well, but he's still got 3 players to take down. He's caught by the paranoia, but still finds the head of Nevera. He's a clothesline in that corner, and now peeks out again. Meadow had a chance for 3, but couldn't quite pull it off. Link will save the day for Team Liquid, but that was nearly the highlight of the day.
Team
The
Ace.
fight that was so, like close in on elbow as his paranoia catches one. Liquid want these fights to go this way though, if that makes sense. They want these sort of mid to late rounds for G2 to try and take A because there's so many different positions they could push from and not be cleared.
Last player standing.
His first kill though, it just, Link has to peek out. He has to confirm that round, otherwise Liquid lose another round and realistically they should be getting picked up. But G2, they haven't been able to have these fast executes much like Liquid were able to have.
Right there.
Rolling Thunder's available for Meadow. He's actually going to use it more towards male and mid by the looks of it. He's opting in, but deciding to go against it. And I think this is the whole idea for Liquid's composition. You can't play punchy. You can't play aggressive.
Off your feet!
Soulcast being forced back by the Rolling Thunder, but it's slow right now, keeping G2 back, so they can't really capitalize upon the control they just garnered too quickly. It will be a slower approach, but look at that from Nukia. Right over the top, Soulcast takes him down. He's going to go for more. Soulcast, great positioning. Scream will be plucked out of the round by Mixwell. And now Nevera looks up above. He has so much more to do here, Mixwell. And Nevera decides he won't get much more than that. 3 kills picked up for him. And 9 rounds now for Team Liquid as they take the lead. This game's been back and forth this entire time, but we're getting into the buy rounds, crucial rounds now for G2.
It wasn't a big buy as well for G2.
No.
It was an eco and they still dedicate that Rolling Thunder. It does force Soulcast to use that showstopper, and that's something that Nukia does have available coming into this one. I just want to see G2 try and go for something fast just to see what happens. Because with the slow orbs, the paint shells, the stuns, this composition for Liquid looks so good and so hard to beat on this defense. Very similar to what Gambit are running. They're picking up the Neon, of course, instead in some areas, but still works the same way on this defense.
Hole in the wall created, Scream. Gonna play him behind it at Heaven. G2 have got the mid control. One prong to the approach is Meadow that you have to keep eyes on because he's just left his position. He has not kept his eyes on the A play, and that has opened up a chance now for Yampy to slip around the backside. He's going to hunt him down through the sewer. Meadow has creeped his way out into middle, and still Yampy follows. That wall's about to break. They can come through Heaven, and Scream's going to be at a tough spot. His teammate Yampy has found that kill on the flank on Meadow. Now Scream's turn. 1 for him. Then he drops back with 2. Evoke was held off from getting that map control back by the orbital strike. And now you have to look to Evoke to go back into the lion's den, and Nevera has chopped him up. It's just Nukia left. We know this guy's good, but a 1v5, Ryan, not happening.
Showstopper used as well.
Flawless.
Can't get much. And yeah, there's a lot going on for like Liquid. The success that they're finding, just the lurks, the push up, they're very much ingrained into G2's head at this point. Now they're going to be extra nervous about how they approach it, but just the fact that Scream gets that pick and that orbital strike is ready to go. The Liquid are almost using each other as these trap plays to set up utility.
Standing.
Bit by bit.
Yeah, head into Lothar's lab, maybe.
Full 1 hour episode, I think it would be. I'm very curious on what rounds get picked out on this one, because both teams, I like the ideas that they're bringing, and they're wasting no time to try and find what's the next big thing. But now G2, despite having a low buy, is still going to try and aggress as a 5 towards A. We've not really seen this. It's been a late round execute that came in from G2 on A.
Yeah,
what can they
and
do
look
here?
at Team Liquid's setup. It's very passive. And Yampy, oh my god, okay. Sprays down through the smoke while just having no idea where he's spraying, but still finds the kill. Yampy finds the follow-up, and just like that, it's 3 kills for Team Liquid. Meadows pull 1 back at least. Hoodie's in the sight, but not for long. And we're starting to see this individual power from Team Liquid. And you see G2 with this pack mentality. Yeah, we have weaker weapons, but let's stack all of those weapons that we've got and try and get in towards this A side. They don't even make it out the choke point.
It's also just fun to watch both the controller players of Nivera and Link almost play like Cyphers and Vipers, just with their movement, the way that, like, for example, now you have Nivera anchoring over on that A site. He's like that last bout of call to stop anybody from planting the spike. And then Link is just,
left.
you know, on an island playing off of his own, watching flanks, anchoring that B site just in case there's a late hit. Of course, with that from the shadows, he can instantly teleport out if he needs to, or if he needs to get to a site quickly for the retake, he can also do that and try and wrap around.
Now, well, Meadows decided a safe
10
call for
seconds
him.
left.
Team Liquid, flawless rounds. They've now had a round where they keep 4 up. Looking very good for the economy of Team Liquid. Now they're going to hunt down Meadow. Oh, looks like they might have a little bit of mercy. They're not going to go around the corner. And Meadow will at least keep that weapon. Now we look to what G2 can bring to this round. Lots of utility, goodbye. We've got ultimates online for Hoodie and Avova, but the rest of them pretty far off their ults. And that's good news for Team Liquid. Look at the Rolling Thunder.
Yeah, it's funny because you usually can see sort of like tells on how a team's going to use utility straight away. Like, for example, like Link setting up the one-way potentially could also like paranoid from here. The breach stun over on A. Yeah, it's just the smoke that's going to come through. I don't know what G2 plan to do. There's no giveaway of like a set play or a strategy. Now they're just grouping up as 5 with a full buy, trying to scale and clear utility bit by bit, just overthrowing. Let's see what Link can do all on his own.
Well, he's going to try his best. This one for Link. Avova has just taken down Scream and Link in a foul swoop. Soulcast, the Blast Pack, has taken down his counterpart on the other side of things of Nukia. Now we're at the 3v3. Spike recovered again here for G2, but can't really plant it. They can't feel comfortable about going into that B side. So with 1 minute and 5 seconds left, they have a lot of time, so they're going to drop back.
That's a fast execute from G2 where they dedicate an orbital strike and they still get the kills onto like Link, who comes in with a perfect paranoia to stall, and Scream again. It forces a reset, and this is where G2 have seemed to struggle. The call is to go A. Now let's see what the Brimstone could do on his own. You've got Yampy that's playing in that central position that he can stun wherever is needed. Nivera just playing off of the site, waiting to see if anything's up.
Well, Nivera, this setup he's playing with Yampy right now is just
30 seconds
the
left.
defender spawn play to pick up the initial info. I can set up Yampy to come around with the backsided play, and that's exactly what he's doing. But Yampy, luckily, will prevent Mixwell from going further. Couldn't stop him from killing his teammate, but it has put Meadow into a 1v2. Now, this is certainly winnable for a player of Meadow's caliber. Problem is, he has no utility left now. He just has the rifle and a desire to win this round. Soulcast and Yampy both going towards defender's spawn as Meadow is fixated on Heaven, but they're both coming down from the lower side as Meadow is starting to consider that option, but he doesn't really know where they're coming from, and so they can get closer and closer, and now they line up! Meadow catches them as they peek right into him. They eclipse for a 9th round on G2.
I cannot believe that ended up working, because everything up until then looked so good from Liquid. Just Yampy being able to peek around and get the kill on an aggressive push. But Yampy, Soulcast, a dip, I suppose, in the first round for G2 in quite some time. But look at the economy. It's not even that great for Liquid, considering that they've won a fair few rounds in a row. G2 have a lifeline. They don't really have many ultimates to work with. Meadow, 1 ult orb away from a Rolling Thunder. Gonna try and play towards the orb over on A. And Nivera, surprised to see him there, but still gets the kill and gets his orbital strike online.
Teleport's ready.
Walling himself up his Scream. It's a nice wall to play with here. He can look down in towards B and actually have cover from the Heaven side too. You like that one, Ryan?
Yeah, even if you break it, it's still in a position where Scream can just be on an angle you don't expect, right? That's a grim wall right there, I'm sure. That's all down to him. Or maybe not. I also like we see this trademark in mid. Like, they clearly G2 are wanting to push towards that male position. Scream not really going to use the wall, save it for another time. Resurrect for Meadow. That Rolling Thunder is available. The Orbital Strike stops him from going down. Like, that's the aftershock as well. So Yampi was expecting that res play, and again, they punished. G2 just can't even get a player online anymore.
Yeah, 30 seconds left, and here go G2 down into the side. They're caught by the paranoia in the corner. That sets up Blink for 2. And now dropping back into the site. He's worried about the B main play, but that will be smoked off, and Link will have a chance to fight onto Avova. He won't win it, but Soulcast certainly will make up for his shortcomings, and Hoodie will go down to Nevera. 12 rounds now for Team Liquid as they look to take their map pick of Split, and they want to do it right now.
Match point.
This is a difficult one for FPX to prep for, no matter which team comes out in the end, comes out on top. I really don't know how they're going to fare against these kind of comps, right? As a team that likes to change stuff up on their own. These kind of moments, the Resurrects, the combo of utility, like Hoodie can't even trade out or do anything. And Link, those paranoias just keep connected so well from the shadows, even to just scout out to see if anything's happening in mid, whilst the rest of the team have backed up.
Making that Omen look at home right now.
I love this stage of Liquid. The problem is it's always short-lived. They bring out some interesting stuff and you go, wow, that's amazing. And then they're pretty much counter-stratted the next game.
Yeah, it's like it's like a little dip into madness for like a moment, and then suddenly it all stabilizes again. We'll see if this can become more sustainable for Team Liquid. I think that's the word we're really hoping you can apply to Liquid in the future. Well, Yampi, good opening. I'd rather follow up. 2-man advantage now for Team Liquid. 55 seconds left. Nevera has just followed the head of Avova coming up the ropes and going to try and smoke it. Creates a little bit of chaos and does get spotted by Hoodie, sprayed down through it. Nevera gets in a bit of a dangerous dance, ends up losing his life, and that does give G2 a chance back into this round, but it's still going to be difficult. A player down with 40 seconds left.
Still feels that Liquid have a good hold on this up until this point.
Well,
Never
hello,
mind.
Avova. Good night, Yampi. A good flanker on the backside. Yampi gets caught, and well, there is a res online here for Scream, but he's wanting to take down Hoodie. Oh, Hoodie, I thought he had caught the timing to look away, but Scream, he's come through. He'll get the res into Nevera. Of course, he chooses his brother, and now we look to Avova and Mixwell in the 2v4.
Link still has a paranoia. So he could still try and flash in, but he has a lot of area to scale, and there's a trademark there. Avova was trying to play off of it.
Oh, Mixwell.
That's all up to Mixwell.
Yeah, it's really hard to see how he pulls this one off. Soulcast is going to look his way, won't be able to deal with him. But there comes that paranoia you just mentioned, Ryan. So already used up. Mixwell on the back of the side gets the lineup, but
no.
nearly comes through with it all. But luckily, Nevera able to get the headshot, and I'm sure they're happy they rezzed him. Defuse being stuck, and Team Liquid will take Split. Map 1 goes to them in this matchup that was hard to call. Team Liquid have the edge.